Right on the table.
Yeah.
Who else is here from your crew?
Anybody need an agenda?
Just Gabe Tolentino and his retinue.
Okay.
I think Zach Spartman might be showing up tomorrow. I know his kids are all signed up for the kids divisions, but
Okay.
Yes.
so far just me and Gabe.
I know.
Okay.
And I'm not competing.
No?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I hurt my elbow at soccer cup and it's not fully healed yet. So
Oh, geez. Are you going to judge or?
yeah,
Okay.
I'll be side judge.
Okay.
He's gonna sit and just stare people all day.
Is there a plug on here?
Yeah, there's one there. There's
I mean, how close?
one there.
I can't
I
see.
don't think they have one that's
Yeah,
super
but
close.
is this what this is?
Here.
What would we do with that? Everything.
Is he going to reach?
We'll find
Should.
out.
Should.
No.
Hi. Uh-oh. It's okay. I got back. Don't worry about it.
I've probably had it for like 4 or 5 years. Here, this is my water. Take it.
No. I need it.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No idea. I've had it for years. Yeah, but it's not like that. Just keep it. I love him.
Like if somebody come out.
Yes.
Just to make sure that it.
Let's go.
It is a hard stop at 6. They are going to run us out because they've
Okay,
got.
good.
Yeah.
Let's be done by 5.
Is George Harrison?
George Ferris?
George Ferris.
I don't think so.
No.
No. Somebody texted him a while ago, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't here. Yeah.
Okay. We're gonna get started. Welcome to the 2026 U.S. Sumo Federation National Championship. This is our annual membership meeting, and we'll just go ahead and get started. So first of all, on the agenda is the roll call. You want to do the roll call?
Oh, hold on, they're getting you a mic.
We're doing roll call. We can do that without time.
Hello, everybody. This is JJ, the tournament director. Who this man? Oh, I got you.
I got stuff.
Love you, Jake.
So we're going to do roll call.
Okay. Christina Jones. Present. Aaron Zabel. Here. George Ferris. Absent. Andrew Friend. Absent. Danny Young.
Shocker.
Absent. Tom Zagan.
Present.
Jessica Hopper. Present. Kellyanne. Here.
Okay. So the next agenda item is announcing or the seating of the new trustees. So for president and with the new bylaws, also a member of the trustees. We counted the votes earlier, and Jake is the new president. And then the northern region, it was a close call. Max Shields.
Yeah, where are you at? Oh, yeah. I thought abstain got the most votes. Oh, dear.
And then for our southern region is George Ferris. He did get that.
Not here.
So for the next agenda item, we got the previous meeting minutes from last year. We just need a vote from the trustee. We're gonna do that probably afterwards because the new trustees and stuff will kind of be over, make sure everything's good. You shouldn't have an issue.
Jake was already been sent to the meeting, so. No, we only had two of the prior trustees.
And we were.
He said that we would have 5 people.
Right. We can do it after by and then I will turn over the meeting to the supervisor.
Okay.
First off, can we say thank you to Tom for being our president the last 2 years?
20 years.
Real quick. Yes. Before we do, our next item will be the election of the new officers, but if you guys don't mind, real quick, I wanted to say a couple things about the last couple of years and where we've come from and where we're going. As Karen mentioned, we've had a dramatic few years. I first got into amateur sumo only about 5 years ago. And in that time, we've turned some things around. We've righted the ship on a lot of things that were making people upset. We've got new leadership. We've got a lot of new rules, policies, bylaws. I did want to just call out a couple things that the general membership might not be aware of in these last 3 years. Since 2022, we have doubled our membership. We're going incredibly fast. We're on pace in 2026 to keep that growth going. We have twice as many lifetime members in those same 3 years and twice as many events per year in just those 3 years since 2022. So I wanted to say thank you to everybody who's putting on events, everybody who's recruiting new members. Give yourselves a round of applause for sure, dude. As of now, we have 41 official clubs in the USSF in 25 different states. And my favorite stat, we have 9 international medals in these last 3 years. The last time that we had 3 medals, the last time that we had 3 years in a row with a medal was 27 years ago. We're like literally as strong as we've been since the 90s. This is a time of huge growth, huge success. So I wanted to point that out to say we have come a long ways recently, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the things that we're going to be focusing on going forwards. As members, you saw the campaign ideas that I had sent out, the things that I was trying to focus on if I were to be elected for the next 4 years here. So I had 4 major points that I wanted to call out. Just wanted to refresh your memory on those things. These are the things that we're going to be focusing on as an organization. First off is organization in general, talking about having policies, procedures, regular meetings, just everything, trying to get it more organized, more professional so that we can move forward as an organization from that front. And then communicating what we have done. So every single month going forwards, we're going to have a board meeting. And every single month, you're going to have an email in your inbox that says what we have done that month. We're going to be communicating what the government is doing, what each committee is doing, what events are on the calendar, everything we can. And I want to hear feedback when those start coming out on what other stuff you want to have involved in that. My third point that we wanted to focus on was youth sumo. Everybody wants more kids competing. Everybody wants more youths in their clubs. I want to start talking to each other, figuring out what is successful. JJ has brought so many kids into sumo.
Yeah, he has.
That's right, San Diego in particular, yeah, I gotta call you guys out for that. But what are you guys doing that is succeeding? You gotta get that spread out across the rest of the clubs. And then point number 4, this was what I think all of this comes down to. One of the things that if we shoot for this goal, this will bring everything else up. And I want us in the next 4 years to try and get a gold medal at Worlds. I think we can do it. We're getting better every year. We're bringing home medals. We're increasing. Yeah, that's right. Kelly, that's right. Yeah. You have the most medals in these last 3 years, so that's certainly yeah, you're certainly somebody that we got to make sure is getting the resources to train, the communication for where to be and how to get better at sumo, how to recruit more athletes to help ourselves get better. All of that comes down to improving our performance on the international stage and making it more fun for us to have club tournaments here in the States. So with communication, organization, youth sumo, international success, those are the things that we're working on. So just wanted to point those out. Those are our big 4 focuses that we're working on right now. But to get to create that success, I want to get good staff in here to help us out. So our next step here, we're going to elect and install vice president, secretary, and treasurer for the next 4 years. So the way that we've done this in the past, we accept nominations. Anybody who accepts being nominated can make a speech if they like, talk about why they think they'd be a good fit for that role. And then they can step out of the room while we vote to see who among those candidates should be elected for that position. So to start with, we have our vice president. Our outgoing vice president was Darius Campbell of Ohio Sumo. We have nominations for our next vice president.
And nominate JK.
Justin Kisner. I'll second that.
Yes,
You accept?
I do accept.
Justin accepts. Dominus? Or were you agreeing? Okay, sorry. I thought you were raising your hand to nominate. Do we have other nominations? I think that makes it kind of easy. Last call. Anybody else want to nominate anybody else?
Do you mind leaving while we take a vote?
Yeah.
Yeah, just if you could step out real quick. Just,
I'm gonna talk some shit.
well, we can't let that get him out of doing his speech, though, right? No. He's got a presentation later.
I do.
But yes. Yeah. Let's hear it for our new vice president, Justin Kisner. Next up, secretary. Jessica, this will probably be the last bullet point that you have to deal with, won't it?
Oh.
Jessica has actually done a ton of work in organizing and getting us into meetings over the last couple of years. So I definitely appreciate your work. But do we have nominations for our next secretary?
Yeah.
Aaron?
I'll nominate Dan Douglas.
I'll second that one for sure.
Shit.
Anybody else, or we can make this one easy too?
Yes, accept. Dan Douglas. Damn. Big damn.
Oh, sorry. Formally, yes, Dan. Do you accept that nomination?
Accept.
There you go. Oh, cool. I think that'll do it. Any last call? Anybody else? I guess Dan, why don't you come on up here and join us and finish off our notes here.
Vice presidents don't have any work. That's why I didn't fire you up there.
All right, and then the last position that we have for election today is let's hear it for Jessica for the last couple of years. Thank you so much. And for Darius, yes, he's not here, but yeah, we definitely appreciate his work over the last couple of years, especially in organized worlds and such. Treasurer, Kellyanne is our current treasurer. I will say treasurer is one role where there's a lot of work to transition this to the new person, because if somebody else becomes the treasurer, there are a lot of accounts that get switched over. I will start off by nominating Kellyanne. Second? Second, yeah, okay. Is anybody else interested in being the treasurer, in managing the accounts of the Federation? And everybody I made contact with him just was a strong no. All right. All right, well, Kellyanne is stuck where she's at. So. Cool. Well, thanks for making that easy. Now it is Kellyanne's turn for the annual financial report. Kellyanne? Hello, everyone. If you want a copy of the financial statement, I have some up here. As you can see, we made more money than we spent, so win. We currently have about 11 or 10 to 11,000 in the bank account. Yes, Dominus. You want one? Okay. I don't have really anything else to say specifically. Does anybody have any questions about the financial statements? Yes, Matthew.
Item number 3 on revenue, how exactly are we getting that?
So you're talking about the world accreditation? That has to do with athletes, world members paying for their room and board to attend worlds. So that money is coming in, and we are then distributing that out to the organization who's holding worlds. So like typically it's like $800. They have to give us the $800, then we give that to the governing body that is running worlds.
So that's literally just an in and out.
It is, yes.
Yeah, we give a stipend to the athletes, but it doesn't cover all their expenses.
So that $13,000 is them giving us the rest of their money over for the hotel and stuff. And then we can still turn it around back to the ISS or the sponsoring organization, whatever company.
Thank you.
That would be item 3 under the expenses, right?
Correct.
Yes, and that also includes some other miscellaneous world's expenses such as uniforms and wire fees, since we usually wire the money and stuff like that.
Without it being too detailed, under the stripe stuff, can you give me a rough idea of what percentage each of those represents?
I don't have that information.
Don't have it? Okay. Okay.
I can provide it to you.
Just curious, like how is membership 50% versus the, that kind, where can we improve in that area? Like, yeah.
Yeah, I can tell you right now that about 6,000 of it is from Smooth Comp Nationals from last year.
Okay.
That's why you'll notice that the Nationals number for revenue is lower than the expenses, but that's because a lot of that's in the Stripe. Stripe is just our credit card processing company that we use. So any payments coming into the Federation typically goes through Stripe. So it just comes in as a bulk item into our bank account.
Okay.
Yes, Matt.
How were the Akuho Cup striped at? They're beautiful. What's there?
So with Hakuho Cup, the committee that runs Hakuho Cup provides us money. The only money that the federation, our federation spent on Hakuho Cup was to pay for hoodies for the kids. We bought 4 hoodies for the kids. If I remember correctly, it was roughly like $177. As far as our federation spending money on Hakuho Cup, that was it. Everything else went from the committee, and then it came in, and then I transferred it out to.
We dispersed the money.
Yes.
How was that dispersed? Like even money or?
Ceremony.
Yeah. So because they'll pay for. So what happened is that they had to pay for their hotel if they had extra expenses, if they stayed longer because they paid for 4 nights. If they stayed longer, then their stipend was lessened by whatever that amount, where their hotel was. So most people actually didn't get any money from the hotel committee because it covered their hoteliers beyond the 4 nights. And then anybody who did, they just weren't issued out that money.
So in the future, if we have more than 5 athletes, yeah.
I mean, there are ways.
It depends on the.
There are ways to do it. That like Hawaii doesn't give everybody the flight. Like they'll pay for one-way flight essentially and 4 nights at a hotel. Hawaii will keep that money and just pay for more hotels. And that's something we could do. Like as a board, we can decide on what's fair and how do we assist more youth athletes, because I know we're going to have more youth athletes at Hakuho Cup. But it's something as a board that we should decide and how we can bring as many kids as we can. Yes, Karen.
Like,
So
what Kellyanne brings up is a really good point. It's something that we brought up last year, which was the thought about raising dues. And this hockey cup, as well as the increase in the amount of juniors that are participating, which means that's the amount of people that we pay to go to Worlds, have increased. And so membership dues are $25 a person. It's probably one of the least amount that any national level kind of sporting club has, as well as Lifetime is pretty low as well. So I think we're going to have to consider this. We can open a topic later, maybe in this meeting, but I really think we need to consider it because more money generation means more stipends for Hockey Club, which we were not prepared for because we take, and somebody asked me this earlier, how do you figure out how much everybody gets for Worlds? How do we figure it out? We figure out what our must-pays are that are left for the year. Things like insurance, things like certain fees that we have to pay. And then we add a buffer in case something catastrophic happens, maybe $1,000, $1,500. And everything else is divided amongst the athletes and goes to the world athletes. That's it. We don't carry a balance much over $3,000 to $4,000. Kellyanne, is that right? Okay, so I just want you all to understand that, and that if to now add Aqua Cup and to take care of that, it's either going to reduce it or we need to think about generating more income. Fundraising is difficult. We're a volunteer organization across the board. Y'all are already, putting in a lot of hours, running clubs, training, participating in tournaments and things. So sometimes we're going to have to maybe look at the membership dues. I just wanted to put that out there a little bit so that we can think about that. And we'll see if we have a discussion time where everybody can talk about that.
I was just say, seems like a great idea to me. Obviously, we want to discuss it, but is that something we could even vote on today? Or is it?
We can open a discussion point during new business.
Yeah, we have a handful of things to get to, but yeah, if you look on the back, that new business, once we get through our reports and such, that's when we can bring that up specifically. But I will say it doesn't have to get done today in order to still get input. You're welcome to weigh in on things like that going forward all the time. And we will talk a little bit about the fundraising committee in a few minutes here too. Actually, was there anything else on financials or any other questions?
What, Kelly, you mentioned Hawaii. What exactly did you mean by Hawaii got their own?
So for Hakuoka, Hawaii is considered their own country. I know it's weird, but they get their own funding. We get our own funding. So how they choose to spend their money is up to them and their organization, and how we choose to spend our money is up to us. It benefits us because otherwise we would be sharing 5 spots between the 2 of us. This provides, we're getting financial assistance for 10 kids and 4 coaches overall between the 2 of us.
Just confirm, that's just Hakuoka Cup, right? That's not anything.
That's correct. It's just Hakuoka.
Just so you know, they have a very robust youth group there with up to 20, 30 youth that all practice in one location on a regular basis. For any of the old timers around, they know Kenna, who have wrestled competitively with us quite a bit, but now his focus is on generating those youth up through Hawaii. And so it does benefit.
Is that also because of the fact that they have the however many Americans that?
If your question or John, sorry. If you have questions about it, I can talk to you about it later.
Well, I was going to point that out. That historically, Hawaii has a strong history in sumo, right? We've had many Hawaiians compete and just successful in pro and all these things. So they have been invited to the Hakuoka Cup for as long as I've been in sumo and then some. And us as a federation being invited to Hakuoka Cup is a very recent thing. We've only been invited the last 2 years, as far as I know.
But we'll go into Hako Cup later because we have a report by Kizzard. And let's keep this meeting moving because we do have a hard out. So. Right. So after financial stuff, we're covering committees. So committees is another thing that I am going to be working on improving our organization with. You can see here, these are the current committees that we have that are official in the USSF. Committees are probably the best place if you want to get involved in volunteering outside of your own club. Committees are a great place to go. So for example, I've worked on the history committee for a little while. We have put the Tom's newsletters from back in the day, my newsletters. Is it Harry Didrow who did Sumo Shinpo for like 10 years? That's all on our website. And we've got records of national champions, for example, that I'm going to be getting that on our website soon. That's the kind of thing that the history committee does. So all these other committees have their own areas that they're working on and a person in charge of who's accountable for getting that stuff done. The officials committee is led by Chris Houghton out of Georgia. I'm not sure if he has other people on that committee with him officially doing, improving our official system right now. But that's working on developing rules, training, et cetera, for people who want to be side judges, GOGs, tournament organizers, et cetera. We have the ethics committee and the youth committee, which are both run by Josh Clements. I don't believe they have much as far as active items that they're working on right now. Packy, I know you and Josh work together. Do you know if there's anything in particular?
I haven't heard anything recently about it. No.
I think that's one area we've got a couple items on the other side of our paper that'll bring the ethics committee into discussion here, but that's another one that is officially open and active. I have been getting a couple texts from George, just so you know, he's absent. He had a family emergency he's dealing with, but he is on the stream and he's texting me occasionally. George wants to step in here. You can see Christina's name was crossed off on the fundraising and grant committee. That's just one that Christina took on at the beginning, but it's becoming a bit more of a thing than it was in the past. So George is actually, looks like he's volunteering to take on that one. Trustees, do you guys have any objection to that?
Does anybody else want to help?
Christina here?
I was working on that committee with her.
With Christina? Okay. I think she was over by the door, but she stepped down.
If anybody has any grant writing or.
Yeah, this is one where we desperately want volunteers with any experience or no experience and just want to get stuff done. So yeah, if you have anything, please get in touch with us. I see a hand raised over there. You thinking about it?
I've written several grants for.
I would love to hear more about that. Can you talk to either Christine or Kaylin? Can you raise your hand? Those are our two contacts that are here in person. And then, yeah, let's talk later. We can get you in touch with George if he's going to step in and help out with that one. But yeah, like we've been talking about with Hako Hookup, with Worlds, with all of this, money is the big limiter in a lot of ways for us to grow. So if we can get more involvement in fundraising, whether it's through grants, sponsorships, et cetera, that's a huge area that we can improve. Medical and safety. This is a committee that's pretty fresh. Darius has been taking the lead on this, but if anybody is interested in that, that's one that we could use ideas of what to work on and what policies can be written. We could put you in touch with Darius if you're interested in that one. And then promotions and rank. Tom, this is one that Tom's been in charge of for a long time. If you are interested in belt testing, Tom is the guy in charge, but anybody's black belt in this room, can you raise your hand? These are the people that can administer tests for you to advance in rank. So ask any of them about that process. Let's see, Tom, do you have anything to talk about on that one or any advice?
Just in the last year and a half, we probably doubled the amount of people that are testing. So that's a really good thing.
Like I say, we've probably doubled in the last year and a half, all the people that have been testing. So that's a good thing. There's a couple other people on the verge of getting their black belt that can also be testing in different areas of the country. We'll, just look on the website. You should have all those black belts listed on there, right?
Yep, the membership list.
So hopefully you'll find them here. Otherwise, We tried to do testing by Zoom or, through the internet. And it doesn't really go very well. Because you really need a hands-on type of thing, especially in those first couple, ranks or grades, the Q grades. So it's really hard to do it over the internet. So, it's best to do it, times like this, where people are together, the black belts are available to do the testing. But if you're interested in that, please let me know. I can get you in touch with somebody in your area or find a time, we'll just go from there. But I appreciate all the help from the new black belts. And it's a good thing if you can all leave the knowledge and skills. If you want to buy my clothes.
Yeah, that is on Amazon, yeah.
You get it from me, Chief.
Or cheaper through Top. There you go. All right. So, that's been, sorry, Caleb?
Some people are trying to test this weekend. I'm talking meetings, you can find a place that's hot. But now I have some pretty ten job that I can do. So come talk to me and we will find places not to get to do it in the garage and place to be in for a couple hours.
I don't know who's hanging out till Sunday, but if there's time during that coach's clinic,
Yeah, if you're here Sunday, if you're on the coach's seminar day, I'll go in there. All right, guys? Just let me
The qualification and requirements are listed on the website, so you know kind of where you need to be at. Of course, we're building, as you go up those ranks, great.
So we're also gonna be changing the test form like this year. We've already talked about that. We're gonna be updating a lot of stuff. Let you know that too. That'll probably happen.
Yeah, so find Caleb or Tom if you're looking to test this weekend in particular. Otherwise, any of those black belts that we mentioned earlier, try and find one of them to talk about the process. Do we have any other questions or comments on committees before we move on from there? So to move on to the back of the page here, we have special reports. First one here is brief announcement of the 2027 National Championships. This will be hosted by Rain City Sumo in Seattle, Washington. Also wanted to say thank you to New York Sumo and to Black Rhino Sumo in New York and Louisiana, respectively, for putting in bids. This was the first year in a while that we have had a competitive bid. It's been, sorry, Kaylee?
Do we have a date?
We will announce that. It is selected. I don't have it in front of me.
It's April something, I can tell you that.
Roughly the same time of year. It's, we nationals will always be roughly this time of year so that we have time to prepare for Worlds in the fall. But if you are interested in trying to host 2028 nationals, feel free to get started on that process as early as you want. Ask around locally, see if you have a venue, see if you have interest from your local club mates to put that tournament on, or asking of us to give you some advice.
Also, we'd invite the two clubs that put in their bids.
To maybe consider submitting again for 28. They were both very good bids, and it was nice to have good competition on the bids. So New York, Louisiana, we hope to see those bids again.
All right, moving on from that, Justin is going to give us a report on the 2026 Hakuho Cup. Hopefully this answers any of the questions we had from earlier, but yeah.
That's me. All right, sorry guys. Okay. Cool, ready. All right, as you know, we had the 2026 Hakuho Cup. This is the second, although officially it is the second year that we've been invited. It is the first year that we brought an entire team and that they actually got the information to us within enough time to pull together a very serious team. So I guess I can read that. It is my honor to present this report of the Team USA's participation in the 2026 Hakuho Cup. This trip represented not only a competitive opportunity for our young athletes, but more importantly, a foundational experience designed to expose them to the highest level of youth sumo culture, training, and international camaraderie. All right, from start to finish, this journey was a success logistically, culturally, and developmentally for our athletes. Now, this is near and dear to my heart. There's a lot of us who have been at sumo, and of course, we are hitting different peaks and valleys and stuff. But the importance of a success pipeline in any sport, whether it be hockey, baseball, all those things, we are a bit behind other countries. Other countries have already, and for us who have gone to Worlds, you can see kids who have grown up in youth programs like in Ukraine, Poland, a lot of these other, Japan, obviously, and there is a higher success rate and they move different when you have grown up in the sport. And so that goes for any sport. And so this is very serious for bringing up the next generation. And it is a passion of mine as well as obviously everybody here on this board. Okay. Next one. Beep. There you go. So this is all the coordination. Tom Zabel, Kellyanne, and myself were the coaches that went. I'm not going to read all of this, but we'd like to begin by recognizing the successful communication and coordination effort between the USSF coaches, myself, and Kellyanne, and the Hakuho Cup committee. This is a separate thing than the IFS. So we had to communicate directly with the Hakuho Cup committee. All of those people who are helping Hakuho have nothing to really do with the IFS. So it was a new form of dialogue that we have established. We understand how they work now, and it's a bit stressful, but it's really it was very, very successful. And I mean, I can't thank Kellyanne enough as far as the financial, having to deal with the back and forth and on the financial level. It was interesting. I'll say that. But we made it happen. Everybody got there safe and sound. So I just want to, and I'll continue to thank Ms. Kellyanne a little bit later. And haven't gotten there.
Sorry. Okay.
Come on.
I didn't mean to ruin it. Keep
Yes. So one of our primary goals of this trip was to immerse, more so than whether they win or lose. We just want to immerse them in this training culture, and through a lot of our relationships with the world athletes, and we got to be able to take them to Waseda University. And I want to give a very special shout out to this gentleman over here, Mr. Nathan Becraft, who was there. Yeah, he was there 2 or 3 weeks before, or he was there before we got there, and was able to. I mean, he was on vacation, you guys. Just so you know, I'm sure his wife did not appreciate it, but he was there, and during his trip was able to visit all these different places, even in the Kansai area. But we landed on, we were able to make a connection, and I think a very deep connection, because now we're little land buddies with the coach of the Utsunomiya team. But this photo here was with all the boys over at Waseda University. And the Waseda University, for those who don't know, if any of you are taking a trip to Japan, we are well embedded with the Waseda University, and you always have a home to train. Okay, if you're over there, you always have a home to train with them. It's as quick as just hey, we got a homie that's in town. That's it, seriously. And so if you want to train on clay, it is really awesome that we have that relationship. And these boys, dedicated their time. We had an asageko in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning. So we got all of them over there, and they put in work, and it was very cold. But we made it happen. And it was really awesome. Okay, thanks. And so this is kind of this was our schedule, guys. I mean, we really, took the time to actually make a schedule for these kids so that they weren't just, just go in there for the tournament. They had a full experience. And so that took weeks of back and forth. As Nathan, it was weeks of back and forth and making sure that everything was right. And so, here's the schedule. I'm not going to go over all of it, but that's Wednesday, obviously, was Waseda University. We were in Tokyo, so Waseda University is probably about a 30-minute ride. Thursday, that took some coordination. Thursday, we had to split up. We took our girls team, or Miss Kellyanne, took our girls team all the way over to Kyoto. That's not close to Tokyo, just so you know. Took her over to Kyoto to train. I don't know if some of you guys follow their Instagram, but they have a full women's team in Kyoto that train, and they train hard. And so she got to see other women in the sport who are just as passionate as her. Seriously, to see that, it has, you have to see it to believe it, and that goes for anything. And so to actually be amongst her peers was very important. And so it took a lot of coordination to split that off and have her go to Kyoto. And then I took the boys up to Utsunomiya, where they also, they had the Utsunomiya team and their head coach, Tsubasa, went above and beyond. We thought we were just going to hang out, have some training and whatnot. No, he set everything up for us. The parents of their club, their club has multiple generations from 5 years old, and even guys who graduated out of the local club and have moved on to university. They were there to help out as well, and they were doing buskari with the children and everything. And then even afterwards, you can't see it here, but to the right, all the parents there's like a window. All the parents outside were making chakunabe and everything, and so all the kids, even though there was a language barrier, kids are kids. They got to be able to, to really bond. And so by the time we got to the Hakuho Cup, these kids, they were already friends. Like, oh, what's up? And that's the thing. That's the seed that we need to plant. Because as for some of you guys who have been to Worlds, you see the same people, and to come up with those kids and constantly, have them as your rival and peer is very important. Okay, I'm very passionate about this. Sorry, this makes me happy. So, this trip has ignited a whole different passion for me outside of my career as a sumo wrestler, and so this just makes me very happy. Okay, next, and so yeah, competition-wise, Little Miss Rosie, competition-wise, they did not win. But that didn't matter. That is not, the goal is so far beyond what they're actually seeing. And they're winning just by being there and experiencing it at this age. I wish I had this at their age. So yes, sure, there were some tears, there was some, and whatnot, but all of us adults in this room know exactly what we're setting them up for. And so it was a trip of a lifetime. But a lot of them walked away, and even with the losses, were so happy. And then, of course, they want to go hang out with their little friends that they've made. But it was amazing to see, and it was probably the most intense. It's interesting to see how many. There was 5 dokyos in that arena. Think of that. We're tripping on 2. There were 5 dokyos in that arena, and that's how. Hakuho is that serious about growing the sport into an Olympic sport. If this is going to be an Olympic sport, we need to have kids to be able to go to the Olympics. And this is a great photo, so that's why I put it in there. So, this is Rosie that as well.
1,800 boys that participated.
Wait, say
1,800 boys. I don't think the amount of organization that it took. They had bullpens at every 5 of the dohyos. And so they were feeding kids in. And they were very well organized. Had to use my Japanglish skills and be able to get them, because each bullpen, they were very helpful, very limited English skills, but still very helpful in knowing exactly where to feed these kids into for each one of the bullpens. And so there was a lot of running around. And as those who know me as coach, I'd like to run around everywhere. I'm not a sinner. Yeah. Anyways, so they had fun, and the girls' tournament was on Sunday, and the boys' tournament was on Saturday, and it was awesome for us as adults too, because Hakuho has high friends and high places, and I got to see all the wrestlers that we all love. I mean, even the flying Toby Zahu, all of them were there. Yokozuna's, everybody was there. It was star-studded. It was really fun. So kids had fun, but so did we. Cool. And yeah, I mean, we worked hard. We even got a little interview on NHK. That was cool. So it was on my mother-in-law got to watch me on NHK. So that was nice. Yay. Cool. Moving on. Now, next one. So, in the back. In conclusion, overall 2026 Hakuho Cup was a success. Every athlete gained invaluable experience, both on and off the dojo. The experience in elite training environment, international competition, and cultural exchange will have a lasting impact on their development. And so I just, again, want to thank the coaches. And so on the last slide, I want to thank the parents, because it's not, you entrust, number one, most of them did come, but at the same time, you entrusted us with your children. That is not a small thing for any feat. We were able to safely get your children to the other side of the world, move them around. Now that wasn't easy. Move them around, Japan, and have an experience of a lifetime, and then get them home safely. And I just want to thank the parents for their trust in us and understanding that, I treated, and Kellyanne as well, we treated these children as if they are our own, whether you are there or not. And we have a job to do from start to finish. And I am honored and would be honored to continue this. And yes, so there's that. Thank you. Thank you guys for the experience. And that's it. Thank you.
You're still vice president. Oh, I see.
So I want to give them some history in the Hakuho Cup really quick. Haki Van Evans actually started in 2016.
Don't put me on the spot. I don't remember exactly.
He took kids from Georgia, and it's a long story how that happened. But he took a couple teams from Georgia during the first invitation that we got from the Hakuho Cup. After that, it kind of switched over to Hawaii. Hawaii's been doing it ever since. And then Hakuho Cup came back 2 years ago, this year and last year, and asked for another stateside team from the U.S. So I think Jalen, brought Ben the first year, last year, and then we had this full team this year. So that's kind of, we've been doing it for the last about 10 years. It's just now really the stateside again was invited to send another team. So.
All right. Sorry, did we have a question?
So I have a quick question. So observation question, but we get fairly short notice for international travel for the Hakuho Cup, right? It was 2 months. Which I was having to explain to people in Japan. It's just a Shinkansen ride for y'all, but for us, it's a much bigger logistics. I don't anticipate that time frame improving on the Hakuho Cup side. What are we planning to do to be prepared further in advance so that when they give us the specific dates, we're ready to start pulling the trigger?
Well, the big thing is just communicating to clubs and for coaches to communicate to the parents that have kids who would be interested in getting passports ahead of time. My goal this year is, after we're done with World, is that we'll go into preparing for Hakuho Cup. Because by the time we're done with the World, it'll be September. We'll get our official invitation in December. Hakuho Cup is always the first
couple of weeks of February. So we have an idea of when it's going to be, regardless of what they say. Yes, Natalie.
What were the divisions and possibly weight classes that sort of?
You can check an email because there's an email out there from the last one. I don't remember it off the top of my head.
It's not by weight, it's just age.
It's by age, unless you're a female, then there are weight classes.
So it was open weight.
Yes.
I think what's important is that as we are,
Now I have to talk slow. Sorry. We will begin to put this in as part of our USSF culture. Okay. And so the nice thing is even now at nationals, educating the youth that are here, that there is an opportunity to go forward. And that as we put some of these youth athletes in their placing, that they get an invitation, that's going to help us because it's a lot of kids and only a few spots. And so that's going to be a difficult decision, but we need to let them know now. And then as Kellyanne said, get passports in order, parents, there is an opportunity, get fundraising in order, get funding important. So passing it back to Kellyanne. So, as we mentioned at the very beginning, youth sumo is a huge focus for us. The Hakuho Cup, if that timeline just is what it is, then we gotta be ready when that email comes in. So just like everything else, I want you talking to the clubs that have sent. If you have youth at your club that might be interested, just get in touch with people who've already done it. Justin and Kellyanne were our point people this year. Keep in touch with them, see what advice they had for you, and we will be more prepared when that last minute invitation comes through the next time. So to move on next, we have a bylaws amendment proposal. Karen, do you want to talk us through what we're talking about on this one? This is for a real quick background on the bylaws. When we have a change to the bylaws that will affect who is allowed to vote in our organization, we have to send this out to the full membership. So we're talking about a change to codify a ban on members who are part of sexual predator registries. But in order to make that an official policy, there will be a vote that comes out after this meeting. So as a heads up, that will be coming up. Karen, do you want to give us some background on what we're doing here? Yeah, just kind of, as a review of what we have in there and what we don't that's important. This kind of came to light and we were like, wow, I think it's in a section, I have them up right here. It's about membership. And this is the important thing is that in admission of individual members, individual applicants for USSF membership shall become members when the national office receives their application and their waiver and release form and their required fees. And it says, bam, and you're a member. But we don't have a review process. It does state in there that you must be a member in good standing, but it doesn't ever really identify what that means. And with the increase of youth participation in the tournaments, as well as around in the clubs, we have to create a safe environment. And so as such, we're going to see a few things probably taking place. One is the initiation of this bylaw policy change. The trustees saw a gap in it and made an immediate decision to at least make a decision that was voted on by us that you could not become a member if you were registered as a sexual offender, period. Okay? So that was done, but it does need to be added to the bylaws and it needs to be codified by the members and it has to be a full membership vote. So we can't do it today. We have to send it out with any other key elements. Hang on just a second, JJ. I see your hand and I'll get right to you. And so that was important and we're going to get that added. The other thing that you are going to see is as the youth team, I think there was a youth and safety committee. This is one of the things they need to look at is how are we instituting a form of a background check and what will be added to the bylaws. So there will be a new statement that's very specifically states, kind of what I said will be up for vote. The second thing will be that
In addition to this, where I saw section 3A, number 1, we're probably going to add and successfully passes a background check. That means if we can find a free avenue, there might be costs for that. And again, this is going back to my previous point that I made earlier about we gotta have every member have a background check. Here's the difficulty of it. How often do we run? Right? I mean, so these are some things that we're looking at and considering, you know, just when you join, but what happens between now and, you know, like my husband, the 25 years that he's been a member, you know, anything can happen in 25 years with our people. So, you know, it's not something we're all going to know about. So we're going to have to think about periodicity as well. So I just wanted to bring that point up and allow you to know, JJ, you have a point of order back there.
Yeah.
My question was, is it just for sexual predators, or are you going to find additional things in that, and will it be a part of the email? So I think there, right now, we've stated that this is just going to be for those that are registered as a sex offender. So that's something we can clearly identify and is very clearly stated. Then that committee needs to begin to work on follow-up policy, follow-up things. JJ, are you doing the mic run for the audience? Thank you. Yay, JJ. Thanks for looking at me. Next question.
And if this is a instigate resultant committee, that's an acceptable answer to me. But would there be a difference in like a review or appeal process? Because let's say if it is for an adult on adult, like there's, like, sorry, I know a lot about this, but you know, it's not all child victims, right? Or there's in certain states, certain times are categorized as sex offenses, even though consensual, whereas in other states not. So anyway.
It's a good question. It is one that we pondered as the trustees discussed this recently. In my opinion, if you're a registered sex offender, you're a registered sex offender. We can't get into the gray area. Because if I have a registered sex offender and they were on there for an adult versus adult, and I have a 12-year-old child in the premises of them, I'm going to have a different, you know, whiffy kind of response or reaction to that. Okay. And that's where we begin to get in trouble. So unfortunately, we're going to have to be very black and white, very specific about what this is. And there's no room for gray, because gray becomes bad and gray becomes a way that USSF gets shut down.
I will just highlight that industry standard is 2 years. So every 2 years you have a background check. That's the standard for USA Wrestling. That's the standard for USA Judo, for USJF, and USJA. So a 2-year like verification, I think, is a good standard. Just flagging that just for your information.
So I think the policy makes a lot of sense, and I appreciate it. My question is about the funding for this. You know, I didn't talk about specifically this decision made afterwards, but those huge decisions as far as membership fees and going to be, you know, the backbone checks is a free avenue versus, well, paying for or repaying for some organization. So are we all worried about this decision being made prior to making the decision on how to get fund?
So the decision on the background checks have not been formally made for across the membership. This is something that we're waiting on. What we did do is, in light of the we went and got background checks on the 3 coaches that were going and any other adults, I believe. Okay, all adults, thank you. All adults that went had to have background, and then we asked them to pay for it for right now, because this is a bigger issue. And this is why we need this committee. And this is why we need people on committees that will participate. It's important. This is a really, really important one. So if this is something like, you know what, I have an opinion about this, and I want my opinion at least heard and shared in committee, I recommend you get on the committee. And who's leading that again, Jake?
Ethics committee is Jeff Fox.
Youth and safety.
Okay, so Josh Clemens and Josh Clemens. So they said ethics, but this is really kind of coming under the youth. So this is going to be the youth and safety, emphasizing, I think, first just youth safety. And then we also need to begin to put broader things in about youth and how they're coached and how they're taken care of, et cetera.
And then this is an important step for us being taken seriously and also leading the way for protecting not only children, but also adults. Because the likelihood that someone who harms children and harms people who are of like vulnerable identities, it's a higher chance that they will harm folks who don't seem, who don't seem like vulnerable. So, but again, like Karen said, we're bringing this role to you all, and we do want you all to be coming back with solutions, being inquisitive, but also understanding that if we do want to get to a point where we are an Olympic sport, sumo is one of the safest, most inclusive sports in the United States, right? Maybe the world, but a good part of keeping that alive is the decisions that we make for our future.
Yeah, just one last thing. I'm just considering it from the club perspective. And there's plenty of clubs that don't have a large portion of their participants as members. So how do you deal with the fact that there's going to be a large clubs that are sanctioned by the USSF that have members that are not going to be going through this background process?
Yeah, I can take that one. That's one, actually, JJ and I have been talking a lot about how he runs judo clubs. That's one of the models we're going to be considering, which in essence would be everyone in leadership, everyone who runs a club, everyone who travels in a group that has children. Those are like the areas where we are most interested in making sure that background checks have been handled. We don't know for sure what the policy is going to look like, but yes, if you have a club, for example, that trains regularly, but not all of your people are members, if you are recognized as a USSF club leader, you are somebody that should probably have a background check on file. In essence, if you are in charge of other people, we want to make sure that we've looked at it. So that's the core philosophy we're going after. Kids are the first priority. We have already established a precedent in the past and going forward. If you are traveling with kids, any adult traveling with children for the USSF will be subject to a background check in one way or another.
Last one.
So I just like to say as a maybe possible solution, Team Sumo at our most recent annual meeting discussed this very thing. Nate is also very passionate about raising new youth sumo and growing it around the country, particularly in Tennessee. Anyway, we talked as a possible solution because we also said the same thing. Do we background check every member? And like, what about people who are just dropping in once a month, right? It's a bit of a logistical issue. And so what we determined, and take it or leave it, is that we're going to designate several club leaders, right? Like a coach, an assistant coach, like, one more maybe. And one of those people has to be present at any KCOL. Like, it can no longer just be, wherever three of us are gathering, there is KCO, right? It's like, it's got to be like, if we're going to hold it, one of us has got to be there. They have to have a background check, and they are the responsible party who's not going to leave any youth just hanging out with a rando who decides to drop by.
Yeah, I like that.
This flows really well into safe sport. If you are a coach or a leader, you should be safe sport certified. It costs $25. It's an Olympic program. It teaches you how to interact with children in a safe way for both you and that child, so that there should be no allegations, because you should never be left alone with a minor. But if you don't know what that is, look it up. It's very cheap. It's an online course, and you'll be more knowledgeable. And that's something that you can tell parents. Like, I'm Safe Sport certified. We do background checks for our leaders. We run a very safe KCO because of these things.
I don't know if this is something that should come up at new business. I know for a lot of us who are public, have public profiles on Instagram or social media, and are public about what we do with SUMO, we've probably all experienced interactions with individuals who have explicitly sought us out. You know, as an individual basis, I know we have all joked about it. However, I think it's a good topic to bring up both with the youth and ethics to say, hey, what should our priority, or what should we have as a policy for youth being presented on social media? Big topic. I'll make note of that.
That's what we're thank you. Final comments here from Matt.
I've looked into safe sport for a little bit. It seems like it has to be organized by the national governing body.
You can pay for it out of your I would like us to organize it as a governing body, because I think it's important for all coaches to be safe sports for that. But we're not quite there yet, but I took the course without any organizing. I paid my $25.
As the night fitting pass by, I'll just say, these are the type of conversations we need to have in that committee.
Yeah.
And these are great ideas. And there is also potentially, some states may find that if they are part of a 501c, for example, Texas does this, there is free background checks in the state of Texas. So, go Texas. But that would save a lot of money if it is a club thing or whatever. Of course, we all welcome you to the Texas clubs to get your free background check.
Dude, that can be a Texas.
All right, enough Texas.
Jake, may I say one thing, please? I do want to say that safe sports will be covered by most employers. So depending on what you're doing, right? Say you work at a grocery store, they will cover it. So you just have to look into it, but it's generally covered. So you guys can have safe sports and have it be free. It's a part of like just safety overall, because it also has like trafficking, and every employer wants you to be able to identify a child being trafficked. So just know you can probably do it for free.
Good to know. Thank you. So I hate to turn it over to yet another Texan, but Caleb, if you want to come up here real quick, can you tell us a little bit about what the coaches committee has been up to and what we're looking at going forward here?
Hey, I just want to let you all know that it was 2 years, I think ago. Was it 2 years, Dan? Or was it only last year? I think it was last year. We said, hey, we're going to put some teeth around a national coaches idea. 2 years ago, we said we needed to make it happen. It lay null for a year with other things going on. And then in 2 years. And then John Jacques, Caleb, and Dan Douglas, which is one of the reasons why he was nominated for secretary, because he like showed off his organizational skills and
Which are impressive.
yeah.
I've seen it more.
Took up the challenge and have been putting the hours in. So they're going to give you an update. Give them a hand.
All right, for people who don't know me, I'm Caleb Atkins, San Antonio. We started the coaches committee for two main reasons. Reason number one was we wanted a better way to select the national coach. What happened before is the trustees just kind of selected somebody. The thing is, we thought there would be a better way to do that. And we were going to make a committee that could select that coach. Not just select the coach, but help that coach out to raise both our international wrestlers and sumo across the board. And that is one of the big reasons that we did that. The other reason is to help sumo clubs get started. And that's why in our draft policy that we're putting up, and we want to have 8 people, 2 from each region. Those people will not only help select the coach, work on how to make coaching better. Like a big thing we were doing in there is what they were just talking about. We believe that regardless of what happens, if you're a coach or a black belt, we're going to make you do a background check, do safe sports, do concussion protocols. We're thinking about, we're talking today how we're thinking about if you don't want to become a black belt, if you won't go through the whole rigmarole, which I recommend. But if you don't, we'll make a coach certificate where you know how to do that by yourself. Like where you still have to go through those things to make sure that you're coaching and running your club effectively. We also want people to learn how to do K-code. Like if you are in the North and you are starting a brand new club, you can get a hold of USSF and they'll get a hold of us and we'll be like, hey, Dan, there's somebody in Pennsylvania. Hopefully we'll have 2 and someone will be able to, can you talk to these people, help them get started, help them learn how to get a coach certificate or get their club up and everything. We want people to be able to do that. That's why we want people in different regions to help. Right now, we have someone from each region. Originally, we only had 3. But we have me from Central, North, Dan over there, South, we have Eric. John Jackson's our elder. He will be our vote. He'll give advice and he'll be our vote breaker if we tie. And now I talked to JJ because we wanted JJ. And now that Nationals is done, he says he has more time. He can start showing up to meetings. So that would be someone in the West, but we want 4 more, okay? So if you're interested on how to help sumo, especially in the coaching committee, we need 4 more people, 1 from North, South, Central, and West. Anyone who's been in the meetings will tell you, we run it pretty well. It's very, it feels like we're actually getting things done. Even people, like I think Justin was in 1 and he was impressed with how much stuff we were getting done and talking about. We were really trying really hard. So this year, we're going to do it the old way, where the trustees are going to vote for national coach. But next year, we're going to run. So we're going to ask who wants to be national coach next year. You're going to come to us, and we're going to decide who national coach is, and we're going to select him before nationals next year. That way, the national coach can be here when the people who are going to Worlds win gold, and he can talk to them, or she can talk to them, and find out, hey, okay, this is how we're going to do things. We're going to need to get going. So if you want to be a part of that, let us know. Are there any questions?
Well, they've been putting in a lot of work on that committee. There was a lot of great ideas and they were everywhere. I mean, they already have a vision for like 20 years of what this group's going to look like. And we had to rein them in. We're like, hey, y'all want to do it all. And that was great to see how much they want to do for promoting the sport. So this is a very small step. And I think I kept telling them, like, just bring 3 things to the table for right now, because we need to get it documented. And then we get that part documented and we get the committee in place and they bring more and we start really fleshing out this policy that is going to be attached to our bylaws. And so what's important about that is, you know, National Coach Committee should be taking on more of the sporting issues, more of the techniques, more of the coaching elements, how to run your club, how to run a K-code, how to do the
while you're doing it.
Yeah. And what you'll see is kind of maybe a potential split between what the trustees and the executive board more on the execution, the funding, the budget, the policy, kind of that kind of thing. There are people who have excellent skills in that area, but are not necessarily wrestlers. And there are wrestlers here who want to talk about how to make good clubs, how to invest in people. And that's what we've seen with Caleb. And so that's really great. So thank you all so much If you have questions, bring them up to Caleb, but I think what we're going to see is that policy coming out when we send out the bylaw information. And then we'll get that out to everyone to vote on. Matthew, did you have a question?
No.
You're just stretching? Okay, good yoga stretch, good. Stretch down to my husband.
So I just want to give a shout out to Karen and the work that she's done in the trustee space and making sure that we're turning you all's intentions right, like into real things. So all of us as trustees were about that life. But if you get a chance to like hear the recordings, you definitely know what's up when Karen comes off mute.
So I believe it was yesterday morning, I sent out the draft copy of the policy. So you should have that in the email already. Take a look at that. It is a draft. So don't go all wild. Oh, look at this, look at that. I don't want that. It's a draft. There's a lot of things going to be reworded, changed, updated. Just be patient with the committee. They'll get that. If you want to make suggestions, fine, but don't come like full war because we're still working on it. Okay, just wanted to throw that out.
All right. So I did want to note real quick, Caleb mentioned that the national coach for this year will be selected by the trustees. This is how it's been done for a while. We're basically just saying for this year, we're going to keep the last couple of years of our procedure here. Essentially what will happen is tomorrow we'll determine who the national champions are. Obviously, that's our world team. We work with that world team. We get their advice. We talk to people that have done the worlds before. We hear from people that are interested in being coached. It's not just a 5 people decision. It's still going to be a federation-wide decision, getting input from everybody. But it will come down to the trustees voting for that national coach to lead the team at Worlds. So that's what will happen this year. With your input, we'll select this year's coach, and then by the time Worlds and Nationals rolls around the next time around, we'll have our policy in place to have somebody ready to go ahead of time. Would you guys be ready to adopt that policy as a draft with the idea that we can modify it as we need to? Are we okay making that motion today? All right. Well, I guess Dan, officially here, this is your first motion. I move to accept the coach's policy as written for 2026 with the intention of selecting a coach for 2027. Second from Christina. Do we have discussion on this further for the moment, or do you want to move forward with the vote? I don't know.
Is it no longer a draft? Or
well, I mean, we can always go in there and change it. My desire would be to have it in there as this is now officially what we're trying to do, and we can move forward with it from there and modify it.
The nice thing about it being a policy letter is it's not connected to the bylaws. So the policy can be upgraded and changed at any time. It doesn't mean that all of the bylaws have to be voted on as well. And so that's the rationale and how it's been structured, is these policy letters can be changed and modified. So it would go in and it would not be a draft anymore if we were to move and to adopt the policy, knowing it's imperfect. But what it does is establish the body, just make it perfect. Okay.
Any other discussion from the?
As far as discussion, I do think that it is important to have, prior to selection, full input from the incoming Team USA.
Yeah, absolutely.
So as long as their voices have been heard before making a decision, because I mean it's for them. So I think that is important in just past experience, and it will alleviate a lot of tension. Yeah. So having heard, and if they want to write, if there's like an official writing, like send in an official thing, or they jump on a call or whatever, but having heard from all 10, 18 of them, before making a decision is crucial. So.
Yeah, that's definitely, and that has been in the past. That has been those champions are the people that we start with when we start the discussion of who's going to be the champion. We'll certainly accept input from anybody, but the champions themselves, we want to select which individual coach can give those specific champions the best chance at wins. So like if 17 of the 18 are Justin students, that's a strong argument for Justin to be one of the coaches, for example. But those champions will be the most important people in determining that. So, I have a question.
Okay.
Well, just to play devil's advocate for a second, like if we really do want to continue to keep the champions vote for who coaches them as like a cornerstone of the selection process, then like why sort of the extra layers and processes being implemented? Why not just stick with that system?
Sure. I don't know, as somebody that's been more involved in that, Justin.
I would honestly say, while the athlete's input is ultimately, insanely important, let's give an example of, let's say what year are we in? I don't know, the 2026 team are all brand new to the sport and do not know the weight and the experience and weight that certain individuals carry. So therefore, each one of these individuals that's on this board know exactly the potential of who or what a head coach, and then who can also be trained up as for like assistant coach. So there's weight to both, but I'm trying to give an example of, let's say a majority of the team they just come in, like a Dom, come in blasting in their first year, but don't know, the gravity of what a coach does, what they, and the history of the people that are being nominated. They could just be like, it's my first year. I love Zach. I don't know, just somebody, and things. I'm just, I'm giving an example. So that's.
He makes a good point. Don's gonna love having his coach there, right? His first year, whoever was in his club that coached him, that's what he has in his mind. But maybe he doesn't understand the impact that Tacky has had in coaching and been around for a long time, or others. And so what I really liked about what the committee came up with, and I wasn't in on all these meetings, by the way, but what they came up with was the fact that it's regionally represented. If it's regionally represented, then it's about the responsibilities of those regional committee members to reach out to the athletes and to kind of get that input and then be represented by that way. Also to ensure, it's not like we've got 5 athletes on there and they're the, I want Karen to be our coach because we like her and she lets us get away with murder when we're out here at Worlds. It's just keeps some of that nonsense that's been in the USSF sport away. It also keeps it away from trustees voting for themselves, which has happened in the past. It's just a lot of stuff. So some of the layers are layers of protection for the athletes. I know it also seems kind of like bureaucratic, but I think the word governing body was put in here. So yeah, we've got to lay out a little bit of bureaucracy, but it's more to protect the athletes and protect the process and the integrity.
It also kind of goes along with how we've been scheduling nationals earlier than in the past. Like I think Justin, your last one, did you have a full year? Or regardless, in the last couple of years, we've moved to a schedule of determining the next nationals a full year ahead of time. In the past, it's been like, January, and we're still figuring out where nationals is going to be in March. That is absolutely real. Happens a lot.
Don't understand.
So the idea here is partially for the stability, partially for knowing ahead of time what's going to be coming, so that we have more time to prepare for it. And also the structure that they put together is the aiming for the best possible group of experts to select who would be the best person ahead of time. And the champions winning on that day, knowing already who their coach is going to be, represents a different type of stability from just picking who might be their favorite. But it is still it is still something that we're working to figure out the best way to do it. I think this is our next best step for a growing organization as we are. Yeah, I'm sorry, Dave, and then
Real quick, just to try and answer your question more directly, White is trying to keep the athletes fully centered. There's absolutely an opportunity for athletes to be participants on the coaching committee that comes out from the feedback that we get from the membership. And also, having a coaching committee means there is more than just a national coach who is going to be there supporting the national team. So the coaches committee can exist to support coaching across the USSF and also to act as a support structure for the national coach, which is going to be made up of the national coach themselves and an assistant national coach. And then I'll go ahead and pass it.
Yeah, on the same thing, we're trying to be better international, like America. We want them to be better than Sumo internationally. And if, let's say in track and field, a bunch of people from the University of Texas make the USA team, they're not going to make the track and field coach from the Texas University the USA team track coach. No, they're going to get the best person possible. That's something we want to do. We want a coach. In fact, we have been talking that we are probably going to make at some point a coach, a national coach, and they'll have it for 2 or 3 years before we get the next one. Somebody can sink their teeth into making those people better and making our international team better. That's what we're hoping to accomplish at some point.
I also want to clarify the coach that goes to Worlds also has to do a lot of paperwork. It's a lot of admin work. So it's not just about being physically there for your athletes and coaching them on the day of. There's a lot of gathering passports, gathering photos. It's so much admin work. I've done it several years. It's a lot of work. It's hurting cats. So you when you look for coaching, that's something we look for. It's somebody who has the ability to do this admin work. So it's not just about who produces the best athletes, but it's who can do all the things that needs to be done.
Last thing. Just so that you know, because some of you guys are like, well, then how the hell do I become a coach? There is, and it's unofficial, but there are, if you are thinking about becoming, just like in a job, there are apprenticeships, like being an assistant coach. So being able to understand and shadow I'm telling you right now, I mean, you want to be a coach, it's not that fun. Leading up to, no, I'm serious, it really isn't. Sorry, but there are if you're that serious about, man, I want to know what it's like to be a coach. There are shadowing positions, to be able to understand and see, and see how these things go on, and then you could probably be CC'd on the emails, so you could just see just how much you're getting into it, and you might at the end of it be like, I'm good. I think I'll stick with being an athlete for now. But whatever. I'm just saying, there's no gatekeeping. There are opportunities. Okay, we can wrap this up.
All right, so we're gonna move on from that for now. Did we officially vote for this yet? This was still part of the discussion. All right, let's wrap this up with a vote to move on with. Dan, if I remember right, my motion was to accept as is for selecting the 2027 national coach.
Correct.
All right, for that I vote aye. I already texted George. He votes aye on this one. Christina's aye. Karen and Matt are aye. Justin, you don't get to vote on this one. Sorry. No. 7. All right. So next one, this last special report here. This isn't really something that has a action item for anybody. This is more of a catching you up on the situation because it's been a pain in our butts in the leadership for a while. If you are new to sumo, you might not know that there's the USSF. We govern sumo in the United States. Above that, there is the IFS. They govern sumo in the entire world, all amateur sumo. In between there is the North American Sumo Federation. North American Sumo Federation is very rarely important, but sometimes there are international tournaments that are organized by continent rather than by country. So for North America, this generally is just us. You know, like up until the last couple of years, Canada hasn't really been a thing. Mexico's kind of getting started. Justin is helping some people down there get federation and clubs and such started. But for the most part, North America and the United States have been pretty much the same thing when it comes to sumo. But according to the IFS, there are different positions that are held by different people. For many, many years, doesn't matter how long, going back far enough that it doesn't matter, the USSF president has automatically been the North American Sumo Federation president. That was split a few years ago. Not really any membership input on that. It was just unilaterally decided by prior president. And that split is causing us headaches now. Prior president Ed Stashevsky gave that North American presidency to Andrew Freund. And since Ed Stashevsky is not the USSF president anymore, Andrew Freund does not want to give that North American Sumo Federation title back to the USSF as it was prior. So there's official paperwork that is just waiting for his signature that is kind of holding us up. The IFS recognizes him as the president for the North American Sumo Federation. But the USSF officially, for months now, this was a motion that was passed a while ago, the USSF recognizes that the USSF president is the NASF president, as it always was in the past. We also have confirmation from Canada that they are fully on board with that. Our paperwork will be moving forward with going back to that status quo, regardless of if we get that paperwork signed officially by the outgoing, quote unquote, NASF president. So the next time there is a continental championship that comes up, you'll certainly hear about it. This would be like the World Games or the 2020 probably is the next World Games or the World Combat Games. Thank you. That's the other one. Those two are organized by continent. So instead of like a Belgian champion and a German champion or whatever, they just have one European champion. And when it comes to North America, that's always, like I said, that's historically just been the United States champion. But now that Canada has that active federation, we'll be working with them together. Hopefully in the future also Mexico to determine between the three countries at least who is our continental champions that are relevant for those. So that'll be in future email updates, but no actual action is being taken on that. That's more of an FYI for people who've heard that there's some drama on that. So that is the end of our special reports. Is anything, I mean, if you have comments on that one, again, there really isn't anything to do. Feel free to talk to any of us that have been dealing with this and would be happy to rant to you about it later. But for right now, we're going to close that one. We can now move on. Sorry.
To approve the article of corporation.
I don't think we can move forward with that yet. No. So yeah, our intention would be, last comment on that. The North American Sumo Federation doesn't really exist in the way that the USSF does. It doesn't have a website. It doesn't have a 501c3. It doesn't have a set of bylaws. It's just kind of an agreement that was, you guys are part of the USSF. Long history, kind of a pain. Yes, Tim?
This is kind of like digging deep. I was randomly on the IFS website and they have an individual listed as the North American representative to the IFS. Is that who the NASF president would be?
They recognize Andrew Freund as that this year.
Okay, understood.
Yeah, so that's in progress. We'll keep you updated on it. Again, probably won't matter soon. So that's the end of our special reports. We're moving on to new business. This is where we open the floor to anybody in the membership that has an issue they want to bring forward, and we can discuss it. Yep. We'll call on you in just a second. We may need to be time limited here because we are out of here. 25 minutes. So in the interest of time, if it comes down to it, we can table it. We can talk about it later. But yeah, let's see what we have. Go ahead.
Is there any word on what
the IFS is gonna do in terms of either modifying the current weight class structure or adding one.
You haven't heard anything.
No updates.
Tell me if you already know, if you haven't heard anything.
What does he know?
The last week, so.
Either one.
Okay. It was voted to add the lower weight class for men and women. No other structure, although I feel very strongly that the women's needs to be completely restructured. But only thing that has been added to the IFS is is splitting, making a tinier weight class for lightweight, ultra or feather weight, whatever it is. That is supposed to be implemented for next year, 2027. Federations can start implementing them into their tournaments now. But is it official? I mean, like, it was kind of a gray area. It was, it was in the meeting and it got voted on and it said it's going to happen. And that's where it was left with the IFS. So we know what you know. Cool.
We're all looking forward to that weight class.
Some of us in particular. All right, do you have other new business? Sorry, Dan, you got something?
Sorry, I lost it. Give me a second.
Take notes.
Nathan, go ahead.
I probably should the money, but that's okay. What about the registrar position? President?
That's a very good point. I would love to have somebody take over. But that is an appointment position that doesn't, oh, sorry, you were volunteering, Nathan? Was that? Okay?
Dump it!
Taylor, I was told that you are interested. Is that true?
I got told.
Yeah, okay.
I got
So-
told.
Question. Oh, is it just registrar or is there a registrar position and normally a website?
Yeah, so
At-
technically on our executive committee, we have the option to have a webmaster and registrar as two additional positions that are appointed by the board as opposed to elected by the full membership. I guess when I was appointed, I was appointed registrar in 2024 and not really, that term didn't really end technically, I guess. It's those two positions are less regulated. I want a new registrar that I can train up on how we maintain our memberships and all that. So yeah, we're working on that. But yes, my intention is to find somebody as absolute as soon as possible and step down. Marky Ness was our webmaster. We'll deal with that position in the kind of the same way. We would love to have one. We don't have a specific set in stone plan at the moment. But yes, Caleb.
So as far as the registrar, the thought process when me and Kelly have been talking about this the last couple of days because Kelly thinks I need a title.
I agree.
Lies. Anyway, is that if no one else wanted webmaster access to the site, mess with that stuff, then it would kind of roll up under registrar and I just take it.
No, the registrar's only duties are maintaining the official membership rules. That's, if you're worried about, if you were to take that position, that some of the other stuff that I do in the background would fall on your lap, that's not the case.
I wouldn't care.
You wouldn't do it anyway. No, I get it.
And just give me my list. Just so you know what I'm doing.
I remember.
If you are volunteering or if you're interested in registrar or webmaster, we can talk about it later. Doesn't have to be right this second.
Current global events, has there been any word from Japan Sumo Federation about potentially withdrawing the world tournament back to Japan, or is that just okay to be decided?
Rumors only.
I will say, if they have enough time and they cancel it, it usually defaults back to Japan. So it may not be completely canceled. It may just end up in Japan instead of Azerbaijan.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that would be, like I mentioned, we're going to be sending out minimum monthly updates with all things. That would obviously be the big headline. Whenever we hear about it, we alert everybody immediately. But yeah, no word at this point. Karen.
So I have two topics. The first one, I think, is a shorter topic, and we could close it out in a couple of minutes. I'll just do it because I don't know that anyone else thinks in this way, but I'll think in this way. I would like to put out there about the trustee emeritus position and put it out to the membership about having Tom Zabel be nominated and accepted as a trustee emeritus. He's put a lot of years in. The trustee emeritus is in the bylaws. It recognizes people in the SUMO Federation that have done an outstanding support and job and whatever. They don't vote. They can sit in on the trustee members. They can provide guidance. They can provide support and history, which is most important. And also, they don't have to be at the meetings if you don't want to be at the meetings and things like that. So I just wanted to put that out there and then see if there was any discussion on that. And just ask if we would take that under consideration, however you want to proceed with that.
I think that it is in the bylaws, so you'll have to prepare. Okay, I don't like it. I don't have it.
I can read it out loud if you want to open it. Any discussion?
Well, while Karen looks great, I know a lot of us who started Sumo clubs, we've, really seen Tom's book as an amazing guide. One of my favorite parts of it, I played this character online called Mika Motivation Monday. And so every now and then I look at Tom's book for those amazing moves. And they're just so great. So are you ready? Or do I have to keep Tom's book?
In section 3C, it's entitled Honorary Members and Trustee Emeritus. It says the president of the USSF or any trustee may name for honorary membership or trustee emeritus, or any member may nominate, subject to approval of the trustees, any person who has rendered distinguished service to the art and sport of sumo or the USSF. Nominees for the trustee emeritus must have served a minimum of 2 full terms as an elected trustee and demonstrate a strong likelihood of continued support for the sport of sumo and this federation. Honorary members and trustee emeritus attendance shall not be counted in determining any quorum, or shall they maintain any right to vote except as granted by Article 2, Section 1B2, which means if they are a trustee, come back and become a trustee after being named as a trustee emeritus. Upon granting of the award, the applicant shall be forwarded a suitable certificate setting forth the award and lifetime pass to all national USSF sponsored events.
I guess that's how it for me, Matt. You satisfied there too? Yeah, I guess in that case, I move that we recognize Tom Zabel as trustee emeritus of the USSF. Second from Christina. I did text George, so I'm vamping a little bit. I'd love to make this one unanimous, but I would vote aye. Is there? I think this one is just for the trustees. Right? Do any of the trustees have further discussion? Does anybody have any input? Anybody got secrets about Tom that they've been waiting for a chance to share?
Are we sure that he served at least 2 terms as a trustee?
Yeah, go ahead, Doctor.
So I haven't been involved for too long, but knowing what I've heard over the past years, and then with Tom taking over leadership, during some difficult times and a lot of things that we, this whole body has had to deal with, I've been very appreciative of his candor, his being able to be very open with the membership about a lot of things going on within the organization. So I would definitely be on board with this motion that has been recommended.
I did get a reply from George, our absent trustee. He said if Tom doesn't deserve this title, then it shouldn't exist.
Woo, woo.
All right, I vote aye. There you go. Five votes in favor. We'll figure out certificate for you there, Tal.
He prints the certificates, so you're gonna have to print your own.
Okay, I'm gonna do a second topic. This will be a little bit more lengthy and probably extend to the end of the meeting unless anybody else has something.
Can we leave a little time at the end for any nationals announcements from JJ?
Yes, yes. We get kicked out at 6, but 5:30 is when we need to start making our way because we like to do Irish goodbyes. So the other one is I'm going to go ahead and bring back up our discussion about membership dues. Because I said a lot and kind of put out a lot, but we did not hear back from you. So that's all I want to bring up and allow the mic to go back to you all and get some input and ideas about what you all are feeling about that or thinking about that. And to include amounts. That's the hardest part. Not so much that it should go up. The hardest part is how much. JJ? Is somebody passing the mic over? Okay, Peyton.
I'm making a list. Got you. And, okay. Yeah, that's it. I think something about.
So they've been talking for 2 years and they do say monthly fees, $55 for every 6 months. So membership fees would go up at a decent amount and still make it affordable. I feel like if it was $55 a year, it would be affordable for everybody and we could still be making some money that would help the federation. Thanks, Brenda.
I do have a really quick question. How much were when you guys do background checks on the adults, how much did it end up costing?
$25
A person?
Next Andrew. And then Andrew and then Leah.
So, $25 is about what I would expect for a background check, and I don't see any reason if the organization is doing okay financially for it to be more significant than having that on top of it. But everything sounds good as far as the plan.
Tim, you're gonna be after Leah.
I think that it's easily could go up to 50 or 55 for an adult per year, but I would like to see the youth stay lower, the $30 range, 35. And with the background check, I'd also like to see that absorbed from the member. So if you're in a place that you're going into a leadership or coaching position and you need that, that's something that you'll absorb on top of your membership.
We got Tim, and then after Tim. I got you at 10.
Basically, the same thing she said as far as like, the background check, just putting it as probably a fee for coaching, like as a requirement for any coach, just adding that fee on that. So I think that'll work out better. Then for like bigger clubs, maybe have it where you have somebody on it, maybe like an assistant coach or maybe the coach themselves on it to being a reporting officer, just gets anything does happen. They have a source of person to talk to, and we just speed up the process like that.
Yeah, right now, club registration is free, and that's something that doesn't happen. Yeah, just to follow up on Tim's there, club registration right now is currently $0. You have to do it every year, but it's $0. But that is probably an easy place that we could absorb the background check for coaches in particular.
Such an example.
I want us to think about something because I see there's a theme going on about background checks for coaches and leaders. There is an issue if I have someone that's regularly attending and they are a sex offender, even though they are not a member. So we have to put in rules that someone that comes regularly must seek membership because of that background check, unless your club is going to do background checks on anyone that's coming into the thing. So background checks are not just about coaches and leaders. They gotta be about members. Just a thought.
Yeah, follow up on that.
Yeah.
The only issue with that is that it's not a it's not a fluctuating thing because we understand them to get to that and come up to the HR. So it's kind of hard to make that a stated situation kind of thing. That's I was thinking maybe that and maybe they have some thing that they have to do the requirement for background checks. But it's kind of hard to make it a overall thing for because wherever they go to might be a different price.
Good point.
We got, Dan's gonna say something, and then John, and then I got,
And then I want to, what I said earlier, I have to be out at 5:30, not 6. So I was told wrong. I was told that.
Yeah, we got about 5 more minutes or so here. We can talk about this, and then I need a couple minutes for JJ to remind us where to be tomorrow morning.
Yes, we got.
Okay, as far as like background checks for everyone who's regularly participating, even if they're not memberships, I understand, and I encourage people to become members of USSF just because I want them to contribute to the national organization. But like when you're looking at like even just participating in a BJJ gym, for example, there's not background checks for being a membership and regularly training at that gym.
Yeah.
Now the gym does carry insurance. And so I know that as part of my club's insurance, we have molestation and other sorts of insurance premium that we carry for that explicitly. Obviously, we want to protect our members, especially our youth members. But I do think requiring a background check for every member does become someone. So that's something that can come up. That's something that can come up in committee.
we got 3 more minutes, and we got John, Taylor, and Matt. And then
we gotta wrap it up there. Yeah, those last two.
Okay, real quick. So, annual membership fees do go up. How does that affect lifetime members?
I believe the intention would be if you were becoming a new lifetime membership, we would probably keep that same ratio of purchasing a new one. But if you are already a member, already a lifetime member, obviously you're not doing dues again. I think that just has to become a new purchase. But that is something that is up for discussion. So.
I got Taylor, and then
And wait, I have a quick comment. So other organizations like Judo will make you pay for your background check biannually or annually, even if you're a lifetime member. So you're still paying for that service.
all right, go ahead, Taylor, and after Taylor, Matt, and after Matt, JJ.
So my one concern for increasing the dues is it seems arbitrary right now. There seems to be no specific projection as to what that's going to cover. So there's even arbitrary amount that says, hey, some of this is going to cover background check that's going to be passed on to member. But we're going to increase the $5. Why $5 just because we need to, seems arbitrary without projection of what the spend is going to do.
Yeah, good point. And I think if we do raise it, then we need to clearly outline Hakuka. And again, I don't think anything's changing about how we want to provide more money for our employees.
All right, we got Matt, here's some of the things, Matt, and then, JJ. I was like, oh, what's that bad? I was sorry about that.
I was just going to say, also we have maybe like a third tier for memberships, right? So there's like a basic tier that's at $50 and a more fancy tier with some swag that comes with it or some discounts on some stuff or something that's like $100. And then there's a lifetime tier as well.
Oh, great idea. Good idea. And also I want to remind you all in the bylaws that the first year of membership is 50%.
Yeah.
It's in the bylaws.
Well, it's just if you join after a certain date, it counts towards the next year too, right?
You can have 18 months, but it still states that the first year of someone's membership is 50%. I'll bring it up. JJ?
Everybody, let's give it up for JJ. He's done a great job.
Thank you. Everyone, we need to keep it nice and short. Just be there early. We are setting up starting at 6 o'clock. So if you're there from 6 to 7, I can put you to work and we can start. getting the party started. If you're not competing, please reach out to Kaylin. We need corner judges. I'm trying to run this really fast. So we're gonna start at 9. And volunteers in the building by 7 a.m. Corner judges. I need corner judges. Corner judges. That's right. We need corner judges. Everyone, please participate. You get the best seat in the shot. Like, it's the best. You get to watch the best singer. You get sweat on you. But reach out to Kaylin. She is the organizer for that. And
Because I feel like
just be ready. We're running fast. If you know somebody that didn't weigh in and they don't make it in that weigh-in time that I put on Instagram, they will not be participating at Nationals. It's the same day weigh-in. I allowed, I never let anybody do this, but we're doing it. And once my brackets are made, I'm not adjusting. Right? So once you see them, that's it. If that person doesn't show up, it's a full send. If they show up after the weigh-in times,
it's about
they are not participating.
experiences with
I don't care if you're a heavyweight or not. Right? So we're running fast. Thank you guys.
All right, so to wrap this one up, if this was your first national meeting, you might be kind of confused about all the stories you've heard about how intense national meetings can be. I want to thank everybody for having this one be kind of boring and chill. It's awesome. Thank you, everybody. Stay safe tomorrow, fight hard, and if you win your division, we want to make sure that we get.
I don't think it's also gonna feel like.
Is there? Were you going to do any of this here, or not?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, if you've tested for a belt and haven't received your certificate, your second.
When they're feeling down.
If you passed your test, come see Tom now, but we do have to get out of this particular room. But yeah, come find Tom.
And so, right. They don't.
So please pick up your trash.
Yeah, if you pick yourself up, then you can pick them.
Again, y'all please pick up your trash.
Yeah. Because I feel like that's the hardest part. Like sometimes it's even harder because you're more critical or you're stressed like on other people. But if you can pick yourself up from that, it's going to be easier to translate it. Oh, big picture. Okay.
I don't know what this was for.
Have you seen Kate? Okay.
Well, it looks like you're overthinking it, right?
Yeah.
Like you. Oh,
Guess nobody's here that attests.
but
So I need those for nothing.
there is
No, they're
No,
going to be here tomorrow.
are his, so.
They'll be here
that
tomorrow. Let me look through and see if there's anybody.
we don't have time, right?
That's Ohio.
You look at Trent.
I
Trent was one of those that would sign up
can get him.
and he expected the medal. And as soon as he stopped it, he was done.
Yeah. Dolan,
You're not
I'll still
trying
be
to
here
do that.
tomorrow, right?
So whether you.
Well, Dominic.
You gotta be out.
Right.
No, talk outside or walk outside. Yeah.
Ryan.
And if
Ryan is here.
I'm not like,
Throw it away or put it away.
it's like, yeah.
You got a bunch of demo. That's the
Keep walking and talking about it. I didn't even
Well, I don't have any.
the not serious. So we can talk about it.
And that's.
Thomas was here. He was sitting right there. He was literally sitting right there.
Who, Thomas?
Yeah.
Who's right there? Hey, Thomas. Hey, Thomas. You should come here.
Here. Give him the.
We gotta go this way.
No, he's right there. There's
We gotta get out of the room.
Oh. Wait a second. That one I said.
Tom, if you leave the rest of your stuff here, and bring that out to them.
Whose computer was this?
Great.
Congratulations, sir.
Hey, I would like you to sign my Tom Zabel's sumo book.
Do we know whose this is?
Did you get all this?
JJ was
Thing?
working with it.
No, I didn't get the welcome out here.
Yeah, we can get it.
I don't have Sharpie.
Is this anybody's? I'm gonna put it up.
Sure. I mean,
Got a pen? Yeah.
No. Somebody's.
Is there a trash can over there? Yeah.
Oh, it's here. I don't wanna. Whose iPad? Whose iPad? Oh, was that Ginger's? That's his. I think that's his too. Don't worry, I got it. That's fine. Thank you. I got you. I'll hold.
You got a regular pen?
He literally walked out and like, drop out.
Got it. We got. Here, we got. To take this. I didn't end that. I'm just. Can you touch it? Thank you all so much.
We appreciate it.
It's all right. What was that? I didn't end anything.
You didn't?
So it could just.
Her hands purse. There she is.
Maybe, is it this?
Oh wait, let's migrate. Slowly walk.
And straight. Got it.